Hi, I'm Kayla. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're gonna do a really late mid-year freakout tag just because I want to. It feels fun and I want to answer these questions, so we can call it like a late mid-year freakout tag. Alright, so here we go. Let's get into it. 'Cause baby, I'm done going through phases of loving you. We're gonna be cheating. I just need you to know we're gonna be cheating because I do have double answers for some of these books, and then also sometimes when I'm like going back through my answers, sometimes I'm like, this is a better answer. And so like just bear with me while I get my life together. And also what else do I need to tell you? Oh, all my questions come from Carrie Can Read. I did this last year and I just took all the questions that she had listed in her description, and so we're doing it again and we're very excited. I don't remember where she says she originally got her questions from, but there are so many booktubers who have been doing this for like years, and so I wouldn't be surprised if, you know, it's just a trickle down, which is sounds like it's what it is. And so okay, so first question is best book so far. I know I'm gonna start off like pissing you off, but I'm tied for this one between Hamnet and Intermezzo. And the reason I'm tied between these two is they have vastly different styles. Like Sally Rooney, I'm a huge Sally Rooney fan, and this is my favorite book she's written, and I'm just a huge fan of like her ruminations and her problematic kind of gray, morally gray characters. I really am into the way that like her characters study, and I feel like her characters tend to say things that other characters aren't willing to say, or like in their conversations we're getting a lot of what could feel like expository information or expository like conversation, but really like the characters are revealed in their conversation, and that is like something that I like really relate to as somebody who like processes verbally. And so I don't know, this is like a huge book for me. It was a huge book for me. I felt very like specific feelings reading this book. And with Hamnet, I related in so many ways to this book. Like I feel like this year was a big year for books about motherhood for me, or books that like have this like tension between motherhood and then like the person you were before, or like the chaos before motherhood and how that's different from the chaos like of motherhood, and just the wildness of is it Agnes? Anis? And the I don't know, like this like unwillingness to be tamed by domesticity, but also like being in her nature. Like there are just so many things I related to. And then this one really has me on the language. And so for me, these books are tied, and they it couldn't be any other way. And I'm gonna read you just a couple of lines from each one, but first I need to like just slightly change the angle, and just give me 1 second to do that. Okay, that's better. I like that better. All right, so first quote is from Intermezzo. I'm gonna attempt to read it like and hold the book. I'm doing my best. I probably should just like put this mic somewhere. You know I'm struggling. Hang on. Hopefully that sound isn't like awful. But okay. Yes, I would like, he thinks, to live in such a way that I could vanish into thin air anytime without affecting anyone. And in fact, I feel that for me, this would constitute the perfect and perhaps the only acceptable life. At the same time, I want desperately to be loved. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. Like, there's something else too about this book, and it's just like the way it was written, like the way the characters speak. There's something about it that, I don't know, like absolutely ruins my life in like the best way. And then from Hamnet, he feels again the sensation he has had all his life, that she is the other side to him, that they fit together, him and her, like two halves of a walnut, that without her he is incomplete, lost. He will carry an open wound down his side for the rest of his life, where she has been ripped from him. How can he live without her? He cannot. It is like asking the heart to live without the lungs, like tearing the moon out of the sky and asking the stars to do its work, like expecting the barley to grow without the rain. And this is Hamnet thinking of his twin sister, and like when you realize everything else that kind of goes on, it's like, dang. I don't know. It's just heartbreaking. It's just heartbreaking. There are also like quotes about motherhood and such. Like, I don't know. There's just so much. There's so much. Ollie, leave him alone. Sorry, my cat's trying to seduce my dog. It's a whole thing. She does this sometimes. She does this sometimes. Okay. So that's best book so far. Best sequel. I also have to preface this by saying I have not been keeping the best track of my reading this year. And so if for some reason a book ends up on here that I either don't remember I read or read like last year and just like didn't realize, I need some grace, okay? That's what I need, is grace. Because I'm looking here and there's already one answer that I need to change. Because that was not this year. Hold, please. Okay. Okay, I think I'm ready. It's so funny because I legit am so confused and have no idea what I've been reading. Oh, okay. Okay, I know what I'm doing again. Okay. Sorry, that was very problematic. Okay, let's finish this out. Best sequel. Best sequel is definitely going to be, there it is. It's right here. Best sequel. This Could Be Us. This is book 2 in Kennedy Ryan's series. What's the series called? It's, it's book 2 of In Before I Let Go. Skyland series. There we go. And I think this is I don't know, I've read all 3 now, and so it's like really hard to decide, but this book was so interesting because you get the love story, because like the Skyland series follows the love story of the 3 best friends, each of their own individual love stories. And so it's great because you get the love story, but there's also a little bit of like a mystery element, kind of. Like, I don't know, like the twist, it gets weird, but like in a way that like feels a little bit like a Lifetime movie or like a high stakes Hallmark movie. I don't know how to explain it. The twist is kind of crazy. And, full disclosure, the only other sequel that I've read this year is my biggest disappointment. And so, like, that's also coloring this. But, like, I have to say, like, it was actually good. I really enjoyed it. And so, that's This Could Be Us. And then, new release you haven't read yet, but want to. I would say Yesteryear. And just because there's a lot of buzz around it. And I don't know if this is just, like, the AI coming for me or what, but I think Anne Hathaway is supposed to be playing the main woman in the film adaptation of it, and she is one of my many queens. And so like there's that element to it for sure, but it also just seems like a good book, and everybody who reads it says that it's a book we need right now. And just from understanding the premise, like I would have to agree. I'm itching to buy it, but I'm really trying not to buy books right now. And so I'm just like, but yeah, Yesteryear for sure. And most anticipated release of the second half of the year, Unprecedented Times. Definitely, it's a book that is, like it's a COVID story, but it's also a college coming of age story in a way. Let me see if I can give you a bit of the details super fast because I'm running out of space on my camera. Press it. So this is a Gen Z piercing coming of age narrative. Which comes experience or narrative? Okay, somebody really needed to like look at the book description. I think it's supposed to be which comes first, experience or narrative. Rishi thinks she knows the answer as she arrives on campus for her first year at Stanford. Her narrative is set. She's going to leave behind the strict trappings of her Indian American childhood in Florida, embrace her queer identity, experiment with love, and write all about it. Within a few months, she gets a new tattoo, makes her first real best friend, falls in love with her unlabeled situationship, and even gets her heart broken. And then skipping forward a little bit, what is not a part of Rishi's plan, however, is the onset of the COVID pandemic. As the outside world becomes a terrifying place, she finds more and more solace in the friendships she's made. In lieu of virtual college, Rishi and her classmates join a farm collective and grapple with America's political situation and growing disillusionment, along with sexual tension and responsibility. And so, yeah, I just feel like it's going to be, again, just like what I'm interested in, which is character studies. And that's, I don't know, that's just the kind of book I want to read. I'm surprised there are not, like, the stellar ratings on this guy, but whatever, I don't care. So that's my most anticipated release. And then we've got, and also, I would also say, there's an ACOTAR book coming out as well that I can't remember the name of, but I'll just pop that up there. I think that comes out this year. And that's pretty anticipated for me because I love ACOTAR. I held on for a really long time, and then finally I just let myself love it. And now I love it, and I'm unashamed. So. Alright. Biggest disappointment. That is easy, my friends. Where are you? You won't live here long. Shatter Me. I wanted to love this book so bad. All of the girls love this book. This is like up my alley in terms of young adult fantasy. Like this is what I would have eaten up as a kid, and maybe that's like the biggest thing is like when you come to it as an adult without any of the lore, like even just like I haven't read anything about it. I haven't read like fanfic about it. I haven't bonded with anybody over this, and so I'm just very much like I don't like it. And it was really hard to read. I only finished it because I was like, everybody's saying it gets better. But the people who I was listening to, like, especially when I was like in bookstores and stuff, they were like 19. And so maybe like, this is just one book that I can't get into. And it's crazy too, because I don't want to like talk about Legendborn because I haven't read it really, but like what I've read of Legendborn was far more entertaining than what I'm reading here, and I think it's like partly like quality of writing and partly just timing, and so I'm gonna let it go. I am gonna get rid of it. I have too many books at my house to keep a book I don't love, but it's just like it was disappointing because I really wanted to get into this series. So that's that. Biggest surprise, I would say this guy, 11/22/63. This book, I don't even know what I was expecting from Stephen King, but I wasn't expecting this, and I don't know why, because like when I read his book on writing, his nonfic, I ate that up, and I loved the way that he talked about writing, and so I was very confused when I got into this and realized like he just writes like that, and I love his writing style, and I'm excited because there are so many more things that I can get into. Like he's got such a chunky back catalog, and so that's great. Let's see, favorite new author, definitely, where is the book? I think it's on my shelf, just 1 second. Okay, definitely Caveat Bar, and it's crazy because I should have known I would love this. He is a poet first, and to my knowledge, don't quote me on that, but I'm almost positive he's a poet first because I do believe I read his poetry. And this was just, it was just so beautiful. Let me see if I can find a quote for you guys. Wherever I go, I carry the grace of having lived after I died. What did I do to deserve that? Nothing. That's what makes it grace. It was my name on the flight log. My body that never washed up bloated on some poor fisherman's beach. Grace to live at all. None of us did anything to deserve it. Being born, we spend our lives trying to figure out how to pay back the debt of being, and to whom we might pay it. but that's a misunderstanding of grace, which doesn't ask to be paid back. Just thought that was so, you know, and there's so much of it. Like, it feels like a novel written by a poet. And that's what I'm gonna say. Because, I mean, I think that that's what it is. Let's confirm. Yes, poet first. I was right. I needed that. Okay. Newest fictional crush. Okay, I have a tie. Let me get one of the books. Where the heck is, oh, I see it. These are both books I read in like July. We're tied. Or one, I read this in July and I read this month. We're tied between Aldo and Ross Poldark. And for just so many reasons. Like, I love Ross Poldark from the show, and I really loved him in the book as well. And Aldo was just an unexpected surprise, kind of like a nerdy hot person. So, how enjoyable. Those are my, and they're my crushes for different reasons. Like, Ross is kind of gruff and like, kind of like grown and sexy, and Aldo's kind of like, I'm just a guy who like knows numbers, but also I have like a past, and I don't know, I just, something about it just works for me. I love them both. Okay, newest favorite character, I would have to say, is Ennis from Hamnet. I feel like she just speaks to me, you know? Like, I feel like she just like carried my heart in this novel, both when she was young and also as like a mother. There's just something about her that like calls out to me. I don't know, I feel like I need her, you know? Like, I feel like I keep having to return to her because like I need her in a way. I don't know. And nobody else I read was likable. Also, and I don't have to have a likable character, but like, I want to root for my unlikable characters, and I don't feel like I really rooted for anybody. Like, nobody was a standout quite like she was. So yeah. And then, book that made you happy, I would say The Secret Garden. The Secret Garden, I read that one on audiobook this year, and I read it in tandem with A Little Princess. Those are just books I return to because they're childhood favorites, and they, like, when I need, like, you know, comfort, they just make me feel that. And so I would say that a book that made me happy was definitely The Secret Garden. Little Princess vibes, but you know, just more nature, and that's what I needed. And then, most beautiful book you've bought or received this year. This one is like a no-brainer for me because before people started freaking out about it, I saw it and I was like, why is this so beautiful? And this is The Odyssey, and this is the Emily Wilson translation, but like, can you see that? It's just, it's very simple, but it's also like full of my favorite colors, and I don't know, nothing has stood out to me visually like this one has. So that's the most beautiful book I've got this year. And then, okay, books you need to read by the end of year. I have quite a few. Let me see if I can find them all, because I don't want to have to put all these little pictures in later if I can avoid it. I may not be able to find them all, but the first one I want to finish this year is Tar Baby by Toni Morrison, just because I just feel like I need to finish it and get it done, and also because I really want to move on and get to Love and Beloved, and then because I'm reading Toni Morrison in order and it's really fun. Also, where are you? I feel like I can't find anything. This is like so funny. There you are. Stillborn by Guadalupe Nintel, just because I really loved After the Winter. I know I talk about this all the time, and I just want to be in this like space again and see what it is. And also I think that there's something else out by her that I'd like to read, and so I just need I need to get moving. And then Children of Blood and Bone I'd like to read before the end of the year because I've got the trilogy, and as we know, there's a movie coming out. This is also a pretty book. That's nice. And then we've got, where is that? That's here. We've got Priory of the Orange Tree. And just because I'm desperate to get into Samantha Shannon and like see what she's all about. That's not the Bone season because I had to DNF that one. I didn't like it, but I'm not like the best and most like, I'm not like the sci-fi person, I have to say. And so it's like through no fault of her own, I'm just not into the Bone season. And then also The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna, which I had started and I'm just deciding if I'm going to read this first or The Great Alone. But I know that these will be big fall reads for me because just she feels like a fall author, if that makes any sense. And then lastly, let me see, I might have to travel for this one. I genuinely don't know where this book is, and I know I'm gonna find it after and be really annoyed, but it's fine. That's why we have thumbnails. And so my last one is Kala by Colin Walsh, I think is the author. And I don't know, I've been wanting to read that for a couple of years now, and everybody says that it's like a thriller, but it's like a literary thriller. And I think that that's an intersection that I really enjoy, and so I think that it would be good for me. Sorry if the lighting's changing. The sun just like ran away. But yeah, definitely Colin Walsh's Kala. And I think that's it, guys. And right on time because I don't have any battery left. But yeah, if you liked this video, please like it. If you want more stuff like this, please subscribe. I do this every week. And yeah, that's really it. Thanks so much for being here, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.